What's up everyone, welcome back into a new video. Today I will be making a full warm-up guide on how to basically know everything you need to know about warm-up and how to warm up efficiently for better workout, better pump, less joint pain and more strength. Let's go. The warm-up refers to a preparation for exertion, any physical effort, and the ability to perform as best as possible for this. So this means that anything that we'll do before your actual workout, which is considered working sets or top set, is considered a warm-up. This also implies that there is a tacit fact that you will do this consistently, and it is normally needed for you to actually go physical work. Why do you need to warm? First thing first, as the name implies, it will increase your body temperature. This will enable a virtuous cycle of many good things that we want for a good training session and optimal PR. Having your body warmer will increase the blood flow, help the organ to better be supplied with nutrients, and awaken and enable to do better things. The warm-up will also increase the synovial fluidity, which is something that we will talk about that in a bit. This will get the gut muscle and the fascia more prone to physical training, prime the nervous system, and get your heart and lungs ready. To put it in more scientific terms, it increases the muscle contraction velocity, improves the contractile protein binding into the muscle, and thus performance. Now, I just coded a little something that we'll talk about it now, and that is better synovial fluidity. So the synovial fluid is present into the joint and cartilage of your body, and it acts as a form of lubricant. It is mainly composed by glucose, proteins, electrolytes, and hyaluronic acid, and all of them help into the building and synthesis of a collagen. When you rest and you're not moving much, this synovial fluid is actually more like sticky and viscous, okay? And it doesn't do much for your joint. But the moment you start moving, it will actually become warmer, and because your whole body is getting warmer, the synovial fluid will become also more fluid, more liquid, and that will help better distribute it around your body to better get nutrients into your joints. So by making that, you will result into stronger joint and better oiling of the connective tissues. And if you are already having some trouble with them, actually better warm-up and a better attention to it will make you much prone to have a better training session with less pain or discomfort, if any at all. So it is extremely vital for you to do that. Regarding the muscle and the fascia, and by the way, the fascia are the membranes that are lining them, okay? They also need to be properly warmed up to prevent any kind of tears or strain or injuries. While training is supposed to break down the muscle and enable them to regrow stronger and thicker, there is a limit, and if you push yourself beyond that limit, you will simply slow down the recovery and inflammation. So you have to manage that correctly, and that is why moderation is key. Not doing too little, not doing too much of your training. And actually, this is the same kind of logic that you need to apply for your fascia. These are the most often the tissues that you feel sore after a training session, and that hurt when you have some soreness. Again, making sure they are properly prepared for optimal performance is key. If you warm up your body, you will allow more blood to go through the muscles tissues, which will of course result in a very good pump that everyone loves, but it will also boost some local growth factor into the body part and allow the blood to be full of energy, glucose, to be used by the muscle. Let's talk about nervous system priming. Okay, so the nerves are transmitting signals into your body. That way you are able to contract your muscle. Okay, you are able to use your motor units. The intensity of these signals are based onto the effort required of your body. The higher intensity the effort is, the more hertz are going to be pushed through. I'm going to give you a little example. Have you ever been into a weekend of clubbing, going out, drinking, partying, then you have a very lazy Sunday, and then you go up Monday, you go to work, and then you go to the gym, Monday chest day, international chest day, and you go into the bar and it feels extremely heavy. And it's like, what the hell? I'm supposed to do these weights. I'm not supposed to be struggling that much. What happened? Well, because you are not recovered from your weekend, actually your nerves cannot go with high intensity hertz frequency, and you cannot contract and use as best as you can these motor units. Why? Because you're tired. Because your CNS is still tired of a weekend of partying. And this same type of thing can apply if you are just getting right in your training, no warm-up, and you are just going head first into your working set, and you get up with the weight and it feels wobbly and shaky, and it feels way heavier than it's supposed to be. That's why you did not warm up, and that is how the warm-up can help you actually. That way you will ensure that the proper motor pattern is carried out, because you have done a warm-up set before to basically get your body used and woken up to a specific pattern of movement, and then you will become much more efficient to it. Pretty simple. And last but not least, heart and lungs. Your heart is probably the most important muscle, because this is the one with flushing and pushing blood into your body, and then getting in it again inside, and making sure that everything is going properly, basically. You need your heart to be actually ready for training. You need your heart to be ready for physical exertion, for physical movement. And a good way to actually warm up the heart is actually to just get moving. By getting moving, you will force it gently to beat faster and with higher blood pressure, and that way you will be able to better push nutrients and blood into the body, especially while you're needing it, and that will help you have a better workout. And same thing for the lungs, getting to work up your lungs to basically have a cardio capacity, and the breathing pattern associated with what you're doing will help. Even though we are into strength sport and bodybuilding, having a good breathing pattern is paramount for you to actually have a proper kind of effort when you're going to go with your working sets. Okay, so how to warm up? Pretty simple. A good thing to do is to actually start your training, your warm-up, with light cardio. I'm not talking about, going for a marathon, just 10, 15, 20 minutes on a treadmill, with some kind of walking or bicycling, or even like an elliptical machine can help you just getting primed for lifting. Or you do like me and you actually walk to the gym, even if it's like just 15 minutes or a bit higher, and that way when you go to the gym, your body is already pretty hot. You may even have started to break some kind of sweat, and you are already into the mood and into the flow of getting moved and actually going into the effort. Another thing that you can do is active stretching. So I'm going to make a full guide and explanation about stretches, okay? But just so you know, active stretching or dynamic stretching is something that is extremely useful in a warm-up session. So you do remember when you were in school, like elementary school, I don't know, like high school and stuff, and you had like physical classes, and you were doing like some arm swing and like leg swing. These type of things are actually quite good as dynamic warm-up, because it will basically wake up your body, and it will make you used to actually have your muscle being stretched, being lengthened, and then being shortened or being squeezed. It will also prime you up to actually use your muscle and elastic tissues as they are intended to be, which is stretching, contracting, and not just stretching or not just squeezing. So these type of things can take just 5 minutes, and it will immediately put you in a better spot for you to have proper effort, to greater range of motion, injury-free, pain-free, and better suited for performance. So I personally do them, especially for lower body, but for upper body I also do them as well, and that goes with joint mobilization, of course, which will also help with lubricating them. So now we are going to the most obvious, which is to ramp up the weight. Of course, starting to squat and you want to go with 3 plate, you're not going to go immediately with 3 plate. You will do body weight, empty bar, so on and so forth. But some of you are not doing that. Some of you are basically going YOLO. You go with 1 plate, you do 2 plate, and then 3 plate, and you go for it. That is not actually how you can be serious about your warm-up, and actually it's not even sufficient as a warm-up for most of you. What you should do is go very gently at first, body weight or empty bar, just to get a feel and immediate feedback on how you're doing. Maybe your back is a bit tight, maybe your ankle is a bit tight, maybe you're a bit struggling to go into that death position, like a full ATG squat, okay? And just doing that will make you able to have some internal cues and feedback of what is happening right now in your body today, okay? Even if last week was good, even if last month was good, and to know what to better do about that. So a better way to actually warm up is to think about it as a reverse pyramid. You go with body weight, empty bar, then you go maybe with 1 plate, then 1 plate and a half, then 2 plate, 2 plate and a half, and then 3 plate, and then you go. Now, some of you may be thinking, that's a lot of weight actually. I go with that plan, and I arrive to my 3 plate, I'll be tired. No. because I never said that you should do high rep for all of these. What I said is that you should do more set to better be used to be under the weight, to better prime your nervous system. But then, of course, if you do more sets, you have to keep a low reps. So, except for maybe the empty bar of a body weight set that you could do where you can do like 15-20 reps, all the other one, 5 reps, maybe 8. That's it. And the closer you go to your training working sets, weight, the lower your reps can be, even 1 or just 2. That will be perfectly fine. Now, onto the things that can complement your warm-up or actually get you to work a little areas here and there to better bulletproof them or make them ready for you to actually train hard. You can use band and cable work. Now, I'm not talking about getting a full workout before actually doing your real set. I'm talking about less risk of injuries. I'm talking about faster warm-up for a few muscle and the joints, getting a few others like the stabilizer, for example, or the supportive or antagonist one ready. That can also increase your strength by a little margin, and you can also achieve a better mind connection overall, better mind-muscle connection overall, and then bigger pumps. So you have to understand that, for example, with overhead presses, if you're going to work your anterior delt and your triceps and maybe a bit of upper chest, actually getting your biceps, your rear delt and your upper back muscle, trapezius, rhomboids, teres major, teres minor, or just the cuff, they are going to help you a ton to be more primed and more stable with your overhead presses, allow you and enable you to train much harder and safer at the same time. So if we keep this overhead press example, you will go with your presses, and between sets you can do a few pull-ups, you can do a few L-fly, bend face pull, bend pull apart, this stuff to basically warm up the other muscle to allow you to basically have a much more safer and better environment for you to train hard. For squats, it can be to train a bit the hamstring and the posterior chain before, it can be to do the adductors, it can be to train a bit the calves. For deadlift, basically the same, maybe a bit of upper back with that. And for bench press, same as overhead press, back muscle, biceps, elbow flexors, rear delt, and so on and so forth. When I'm talking about this, you have to remember that the intensity must be low and the volume must be somewhat high. We are more about warming up, having a decent pump, rather than having a real full-blown workout, okay? It should not tire you. It should not be something that keeps you from literally talking at the same time you're doing this kind of exercise. It's just there to make you more ready and prepare to a better workout. Now, I just want to add, the less is the better. Something that is a good rule of thumb is either to do three isolation movement with a band or a cable between sets of your major compound lift, or to just do one compound lift in between. So for example, between my presses set, I will do some biceps curl with a band, I'll do some overhead extension for the triceps and the elbow joint, and I will do some L-fly for the external rotator of the shoulder and a tiny bit of rear delt, and that's it. But what works also is actually to do some ring chin-up or pull-up or whatever just feels good for you to have a back that is properly warmed up. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is the activation drills. So this is something you often see do, especially on the social media, with fit girls that are looping bands around their body, especially the knees, and doing some kind of crab walking or side walk to wake up the glutes. You can also see some guys doing some exercises that are supposed to activate your chest or activate your lats. And for most of these, the overall concept itself is actually pretty false, okay? Activation drill is a wrong type of pre-exhaust anti-suffocation technique, which is something that we'll talk about in another video, okay? But pre-exhausting your muscle is not the correct way for you to actually approach training, because let's just talk pretty straight. If you are doing a movement and you're not feeling a muscle, that doesn't mean that it's not training, it is not working, it's that you're not training it. And if you are actually not able to recruit a muscle, this means that you either have some kind of nerve damage, some nerve issue, neuropathy issue, or that you're just not used to actually use this muscle, and you just need to be able to build a better mind-muscle connection to better feel it, better squeeze it, better stretch it, and better muscle out the movement. But you do not need this activation drill. If you're doing properly and with good form, most exercise that you should be doing when your focus is bodybuilding, all right? I'm going to give you a little example that is extremely easy to understand. When you're doing hack squat and you're trying to work your quads, if you do the hack squat properly, what is going to happen? You're going to stay pretty upright compared to the resistance profile, you're going to have a very deep knee flexion, a very deep ankle flexion, and there is no way your posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstring, your low back is going to be able to help you when it's time to get back up. Because when it's time to get back up, what are you going to do? You're going to do a lot of knee extension. Okay, and what is the prime mover for the knee extension? The quadriceps. So if you do your hack squat properly with enough depth, enough weight, and a proper technique, they grow. And so does any muscle when you're doing an exercise that can target it efficiently without hurting yourself with proper form. There is no way your pectoral muscle can escape the tension when you're doing deep down dips. There is no way it can escape the stretch, and there is no way it cannot just work because of the elbow adduction component when you're going up from a dips or a push-up. There is no way you are not training your glutes and your hamstring when you're doing stiff-legged deadlift and Roman deadlift. Why? Because you're in a deep hip flexion position. What are the main hip extensors? Glutes, hamstring. What are the secondary agonist hip extensors that can potentially help you? Adductors, calves, that's it. What is keeping your spine to buckling over and rounding? Your erectors. What is keeping your thoracic rigidity and allowing you to keep the barbell glued to your body? The lats. What is keeping you from having your arms ripped off your body and fall on the ground? Your traps. You see, there is no way this muscle cannot work, even if you do not necessarily feel them. So there is actually no need for you to both feel them. It is secondary, even if of course it can feel great, or just have you basically have a cue that you're doing something right. You will not necessarily need to actually feel them if you're doing the movement properly. Now, if you're not feeling your muscle despite training them properly, this is another issue. And now, actually having some kind of exercise as a pre-exhaust or activation before training could be useful if you really want this area to be felt and to be worked, if it's a real weak point, or on the contrary, if you have other muscles that are so strong and so overpowering that you actually need to do some kind of compound lift to train what you want while keeping the other kind of away, basically bias them. So then I'm going to show you a list of exercises you can do for a certain body part, and you can just choose what you prefer, what you want, what is comfortable and what is logistically possible for you, and that would be it, really. Now, to conclude, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure to implement all of these things into your warm-up. Make sure to take your warm-up seriously, as it is a very vital part of your training. And that way, you'll see more gains, less pain, less plateau, less nagging injury, less little things that we do not like, and more stuff that you actually like. Strength, PR, good pump, good body. Thank you so much. Take care.